Mikel, you're back, and you're back as the head coach. How special is this moment for you?
I'm extremely happy and excited and proud to come back home. It's absolutely an honor for me to be given the opportunity to come back, and I don't know, I can't wait to start.
It's been emotional. When you said goodbye last time, there were tears on the pitch, a goal in your final game. Now you're back seeing familiar faces. Lots of emotions for you.
It is. It's been tough to leave the environment that I was working with, and at the same time I'm so excited to come here. I know a lot of people in the organization. I started to get a little bit of feedback the last few days, how excited people were starting to be. And then I'm a little bit shocked with all the changes and improvement that the club has made in the training ground.
How would you describe the club you've come back to, and how do you feel about where it is right now?
Well, I think we are in a difficult moment in terms of results and in terms of what's happening around the environment. Obviously, I need time to start sniffing around the reasons why. I have an idea, a clear idea of what's happening, but I want to start working with them. I want to start looking at their eyes. I want to start to feel the environment and the culture around the club, what's going on, and I start to make a small adjustment to try to get quick improvements.
You've been a player, a captain, a first team coach. Why is now the right time to make that final step?
Well, I think I was very careful in the last year of my career to respect really how I was feeling. And towards the last 1 or 2 years at the club, I started to feel the necessity to start doing my coaching badges, to start to coach the young players here at the academy, and see how I was feeling, and that feeling how I was progressing. I decided to stop my career and stop playing in terms of going to a different place, and I got the biggest challenge, obviously, to work with Pep and Manchester City. So they gave me an incredible opportunity. I embrace it. I've been working in the most challenging environment that you can imagine, with the expectations every 3 days. So I've learned a lot of things in the process. You know, I've seen a lot of things that work and they don't work, and I know how a winning culture should look like, which is for me the most important thing.
Skeptics will say, oh, Mikel's never been a head coach, he hasn't got much experience. What do you say to that?
I won't convince the players that I have experience, you know. I will convince the players that I know certain things we have to do that are non-negotiables that will bring success. And things will happen when we do those little things, you know. I will convince them to that. And the rest will come. The experience, it will be 1 day training, 2 days training, 1 game, 5 days, 1 year. It will come up. But at the moment, the only thing I cannot convince them is that I have experience on this job.
Having said that, Pep says about you, he behaves like a manager already. What does he mean by that?
Because he's been allowing me more and more space over the years with him, and he's giving an incredible environment and freedom to work and to express myself the way I want it. And then we generated an incredible chemistry between the both of us that's so powerful to convince players and staff what we wanted to do.
You've learnt from two of the greatest managers of the modern era, Pep, of course, Arsene Wenger previously. You'll have your own ideas, but what would you like to take from them, borrow from them?
I don't know, they are completely different, both managers. First of all, Arsene, the reason why I'm here today is because he decided to sign me as a player. Then he decided to make me captain of this club, and he gave me the opportunity and all the resources I needed to do what I wanted to do with the club. And with Pep, I admire him as a player, I admire him as a coach, and I work with him. So I've got a really good mixture of both of them, but I want to be me. You know, on a daily basis things, don't want to be or pretend to be someone else. It has to be me, it has to be natural, and it has to come from inside. If that's the case, the players will trust me and I will convince them what we have to do.
5 years ago, you had a good idea what your philosophy was, what a Mikel Arteta team would look like. That's 5 years ago. Has your philosophy changed as football has changed?
I started to tweak it, and football is evolving so much every day that you have to be evolving your ideas, you know, but there are some things that have to have a blueprint, you know, and we have to have passion, we have to be dominant, we have to be aggressive, you know. We have to play in the opponent's territory as much as we want. I want the ball. I want to attack them as much as possible. I want to prevent them attacking me as much as possible. But as well, I think we have to create the right culture around the club. You know, that's what you're going to make a good living out of the players. Create an environment where everybody respects each other. A humility, and the people has to be accountable for what we want to achieve. You know, that's at least the basic, and after we can grow from there. And then we can create the identity that I have in my head for this football club. But we have to start somewhere to try to build that up.
How important is it to be faithful and true to that philosophy and not waver?
It's what I know and what I believed in. So if I have to tell them what to do, I really have to understand it first and be able to express it and make the process for them to simplify as much as possible the process so they can execute it. And then we can review whatever it is. But the message has to be very clear. And I'm convinced that doing it one way, we're going to put things very difficult for the opponents.
In modern football, Arsenal have a reputation for playing attacking, fluent football. It's won us fans all over the world. Are you concerned that identity has slipped?
Unfortunately, yes. That's my feeling. That's what I have to recover. But we have to make little adjustment. Now the timing for training is not a lot, you know. So visually, the players have to understand the idea that I want to bring to them, and slowly you will see some changes and where we want to head on, because the direction is going to be very clear and it's not going to be negotiable, you know. And we need the players to be on board with the right attitude, with the right passion and commitment. And step by step, we will be improving and reaching to find the right identity for us.
Another part of that identity is to bring through young players. You saw it in your time as a player. How important is it for you to keep that work going?
And I've done a lot of research, and we are very lucky because we have some really talented young players here. I've spoken to Per as well a lot. We still hold an incredible relationship, and he's made some changes there, and you can see the product that we are able to bring to the first team. So I'm really excited. I love working with young players. I love giving them the opportunity. If they are ready, they are right, and they are willing to learn, you know, and get exposed. So with me, it's up to them.
In your playing days, Mikel, there's a change in the psychological side of being a player and then a captain. On the coaching side, going from first team coach to head coach, how does that change your relationship with players?
I think every relationship with every player is completely different, you know. I always said that you are like a heart surgeon. I need to understand the feelings. I need to scratch there and understand how they feel. If I'm able to do that and they feel that they can trust me, I will understand their decisions and their behaviors much better. And then the communication will improve. And if that improves, that is going to have an impact in performance out on the pitch, 100%. So I have to create that environment for them. Obviously, it has to be a distance, it has to be a respect, and they have to accept the decisions that I'm going to make. But at the same time, they have to feel that they are protected and they have the right environment to express themselves with me.
How do you learn in your coaching career if a player has what it takes? How much time does it take you to figure that out?
They are all different cases. They come from different backgrounds, different cultures, different educations. You know, with some of them it's instantaneous. You look at their eyes and you get a click. With others, you have to spend time to build that relationship, you know. We will see.
Short-term challenges, of course. What are they? Because we're only coming up to the halfway point of the season. What's the immediate challenge for you?
We need to win football games, you know. Football games, when you win, the confidence straight away races. Everybody starts to get on board. And then obviously I want to start give them key messages and things that I expect from him. And we will start very simple with some of the things that I will be asking them to do, everybody. And then we will start to go into detail. But they need direction, they need a structure, and I have to give them the tools. I have to tell them before what's going to happen, then it has to happen, and when it happens, the tools that I've given them before have to be the ones to resolve the situation that they face that. If I do that, they're going to believe me and they're going to follow me.
And the fans will be watching very, very closely, of course. They've been frustrated for some time now. What's your message to them?
that please that we need them so much. You know, I was in the bench next to it the other day, and I felt bad. You know, when you see the disappointment and the faces on the crowds, and I understand. You know, we have to be the ones that we are able to transmit that our idea is reaching to them, to engage them, because we need them. We have to connect those powerful cables together to become what this club deserves to come. You know, without them, we cannot do it. Because at the end of the day, we play football to enjoy the fans, you know, and they make a lot of sacrifices to be able to watch us, and they suffer, and we have to understand it's our responsibility. So we have to engage them. So if they give us a little bit, we give them more, and then it will be a consequence one of the other, but we need them big time.
Yeah, you once said that when the crowd get going at the Emirates, I think we're unstoppable.
Yeah. Because it's incredible, the stadium. And when I was here, I had an impression. When you just leave this football club and you are in the opponent's bus and you are driving and you look at a stadium and then you get into the crowd, you say, wow, this is a place. The opponent has to have fear to come to the Emirates. That's what we have to, again, create fear on the opponent. That's a big advantage.